My name is Eleanor Grace Whitman. I am 74 years old, and I live alone in a white two-story farmhouse at the end of Magnolia Street in Savannah, Georgia. The paint is peeling, the porch swings when the wind blows, and every floorboard inside carries the memory of footsteps that no longer echo. I bought this house in 1976 with my husband, Thomas, back when gas was under $1, neighbors brought pies instead of opinions, and we believed time would always move slowly. We were wrong. Thomas died on a Tuesday morning in April. There was no dramatic goodbye, no final speech, just a soft exhale and the steady beep of a hospital monitor turning into one long, unforgiving sound. I remember thinking, that's it? 48 years of marriage ends like that? The nurse touched my shoulder. I nodded politely, like someone who had just been told the grocery store was out of milk. Grief doesn't always scream. Sometimes it sits quietly in your chest and refuses to leave. After the funeral, everyone brought casseroles, fried chicken, pound cake, banana pudding. By week 3, the doorbell stopped ringing. That's when the silence moved in. For 42 years, I hosted Sunday dinner. My son, Michael, my daughter, Rebecca, 3 grandchildren, 1 loud dog named Buster. Every Sunday at 3 p.m., the house filled with laughter, football games on television, and arguments about politics that ended with peach cobbler. Then, slowly, it changed. Mom, we're really busy this weekend. Grandma, I have practice. We'll come next month. Next month turned into 6, then a year. The dining table that once held 12 now holds dust. I still cook sometimes out of habit. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans with bacon. I eat alone. It happened on a rainy Thursday. I was carrying laundry down the stairs when my slipper caught the edge of the rug. I fell. Not gracefully, not dramatically, just hard. The kind of fall that knocks the air out of your lungs and reminds you that bones are no longer forgiving. I lay there for 23 minutes before I could reach the phone. 23 minutes is a long time when you realize no one is coming unless you call them. At the hospital, the doctor said, "You were lucky." I didn't feel lucky. I felt old. 2 weeks later, my children came over, both at the same time. That should have warned me. Michael stood near the window. Rebecca sat at the kitchen table, folding and unfolding her hands. "Mom," Michael began carefully, "we think it might be time." Time? Such a small word for such a large betrayal. Time for what? I asked. Rebecca swallowed. "Maybe assisted living, just until you're stronger." Stronger? I have survived childbirth, breast cancer, burying my husband, working double shifts as a school secretary for 30 years, and now I am not strong enough? I looked around my kitchen, at the chipped tile Thomas installed himself, at the curtains I sewed in 1982. "This is my home," I said softly. They exchanged a glance. That glance hurt more than the fall. They started packing the following weekend, without asking. Michael said, "We're just organizing." Rebecca labeled boxes: donate, keep, storage. I watched my life disappear into cardboard. My wedding china? Too fragile. Thomas's recliner? Too big. The piano? No one plays anymore. I wanted to scream. Instead, I made lemonade, because that's what women of my generation do. We swallow our protests and serve refreshments. 3 days later, I went to the bank alone. Mrs. Patterson, the branch manager, had known me for years. "What can I help you with, Eleanor?" she asked kindly. "I'd like to review my accounts," I said. Turns out, my children had already spoken to a financial advisor about selling the house, about liquidating assets. without me. I felt something shift inside my chest that day. Not grief, not fear, something sharper. Resolve. That night, I sat on the porch swing. The air smelled like jasmine and distant rain. I thought about Thomas, about the years we scraped pennies together to buy this place, about every birthday candle blown out in this house. I may be 74, but I am not invisible. The next morning, I called an attorney. 2 weeks later, my children arrived again. Confident, certain. Michael cleared his throat. We found a lovely assisted living community. It has activities, a garden. I'm not going, I said calmly. Silence. Rebecca blinked. Mom, we already listed the house. No, I corrected gently. You tried to. I placed the folder on the table. Inside were legal documents. Power of attorney revoked, new will established, trust secured. This house will remain in my name until I take my last breath. After that, it will be donated to a women's transitional housing charity. Not sold, not inherited, donated. You can't be serious, Michael whispered. Oh, I am, I replied. For years, I gave you everything I had. Love, support, Sunday dinners, babysitting, college tuition help. I looked at them steadily. But I will not give you my dignity. They left angry. There were phone calls, accusations, tears, then silence again. But this silence felt different. This one belonged to me. A month later, a young woman named Carla knocked on my door. She was 28, recently divorced, with 2 small children, and nowhere permanent to live. The charity connected us. I had 4 empty bedrooms. Now I hear little feet again. I hear laughter. I hear life. Carla helps with groceries. I help with homework. We sit on the porch at night and talk about second chances. Turns out I didn't need assisted living. I needed purpose. Last Sunday, I cooked again. Roast chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans with bacon. Carla's children set the table. Halfway through dinner, I realized something. The house wasn't quiet anymore. It was alive. And so was I. Because growing old is not the same as becoming small. I am Eleanor Grace Whitman. I am 74 years old, and this house on Magnolia Street, it is still mine.